Alrighty guys, we're gonna get these blue light blocking glasses on because we have a little bit of a different video today. We're gonna be reacting to Shelby Church on a video she just released called What I Spend in a 2-Week Trip to Europe. Asterisk, luxury on a budget. And we know we love some good budgeting around here. And you know, since I'm also planning to do a 2-week excursion to Europe, specifically Italy, I said I bet there's some credit cards involved in this video. And I know Shelby Church loves her credit cards, so let's see what she has to say and let's see what her trip is all about, shall we?
I recently went on a pretty luxurious trip to Switzerland and England. I decided to actually track how much I spent on this entire trip and share it with you guys so you can see what was worth it, what wasn't, and how far your money goes in Europe. The total amount surprised.
Wait a second, do we have the same iPad cover? Oh my god, I think we have the same iPad cover. Look at that. Why don't I have 1 million subscribers just like Shelby? That's crazy.
Me, so stick around to see. Subscribe if you like videos about financial transparency, and let's get into it. I'm always wondering, am I spending a normal amount? How much are people spending on hotels? What's considered normal? I don't know. So I'm just gonna share with you how much I spent on my European vacation so we can all compare. I went on a 2-week trip to Europe. I didn't have a strict budget going into this trip, and I didn't want to completely ball out on things, but I also wanted to have a nice time. So on this trip, I went to 2 countries, but 4 major cities, which were Zurich, Zermatt, London, and the English countryside, to a town called Oxfordshire. So starting with my flights, I booked my flight with points.
Wait a second, that plane out there, oh that's Singapore Airlines. Oh yeah, you can see the little flag right there. Is Shelby flying Singapore? So probably she's taking American Express points, transferring that to Singapore Airlines, and that's how she's booking this trip. And so for people that are unfamiliar, you can actually earn a bunch of points through American Express, and then all of those points in American Express could be transferred to travel partners. This could be for certain hotels, or it could actually be for airlines, and there's a plethora of airlines, and so once you transfer those points you can then book flights through those airlines, and typically that's where you get a ton of value. Instead of just paying for cash, you're paying with all of your American Express points. Like if you're paying with cash, 1 cent equals 1 cent, but if you're paying with points, 1 point could be worth 3 cents, 7 cents, 15 cents. The limits are pretty much endless. So like the same $100 worth of points could actually be worth about $5 to even $1,000 worth of flights, especially if you're booking first class or business class like Shelby is. Pretty powerful stuff, man. Getting the points in my
I booked my flight with points, and I paid for the taxes and fees, which were $318.05. I used 180,000 points, and I did get a first class flight.
Yeah, so I hear that when you actually fly into London, that yeah, of course you're going to be able to pay with points, and so the flight itself is free, but the taxes to go into London, ever since the Brexit, was just like insanely high. So she's paying $318. I wouldn't be surprised if her actual ticket to fly there was maybe around $1,500, and she paid that completely with points, which is awesome. But yeah, the taxes and fees, you can't pay that with a credit card, unfortunately. That's got to be out of pocket. So what people will do to save a little bit of money on those taxes is they'll fly to like an adjacent country, like I think like maybe a France or a Spain or something, where the taxes are a little bit cheaper, so this way you can get there, have a cheaper flight and cheaper taxes, and then once you get there, the flight itself will be even cheaper to go fly from Spain to a London or something like that. So this way you're not paying taxes on that huge ticket. You're maybe $100 ticket to get from Spain to London. So a little pro tip there for you guys flying to Europe.
I only got this deal, I think, because it was the off season. I've been looking again recently and I cannot find anything close to this. On the actual day of travel, I used my lounge access credit card to get into the lounge and get the free food. So I ate free food for the full 16 to 18 hours of traveling. I had breakfast at the airport, lunch on the plane, I had dinner and drinks at the Connection in JFK. I had more food on the second flight. From the time I leave to the airport, I didn't pay for any food until I actually got to Switzerland. Love that. I have the Delta Reserve American Express card. The Platinum card also gets you into these.
Yeah, so she's showing that she went to the Centurion Lounge, and the Centurion Lounge is specific to American Express holders, specifically the Amex Platinum card that has a $695 annual fee, and the Delta Reserve card that has a $550 annual fee. And these 2 cards will give you complimentary access to that Centurion Lounge, and without those 2 credit cards, you can't get in those lounges. So pretty exclusive, although I hear now that the wait times are like ridiculous depending on where you are, and there's a line out the door, almost like it's Walmart for people to get into that lounge. But if you can get in there, really amazing service, free food like she said for the first 16 hours. that's some lavish lifestyle.
I have a full video on this, and I'll link the cards I like down below if you want to learn more, but that is not the point of—
Actually, no, if you link down below in this video that you're watching right now, if you want the Platinum card or Delta Reserve, she has enough referrals, okay? She's doing well, all right? Help your boy out. I want to go fly and see some lounges too. So, you know, links in the description and the pinned comment if you want the Platinum or the Reserve to get that complimentary lounge access. So, help your boy out. Thank you. Actually, maybe use her links, because I don't want her to attack me on this video, you know. Shelby, I love your content. I've watched all of them. You're amazing. Don't hurt me, please.
on this, and I'll link the cards I like down below if you want to learn more, but that is not the point of this video. We first flew to Switzerland and took a $40 train to Zermatt. It is a 4-hour train ride, and trains in Switzerland are more pricey than other areas, so it's gonna be around $40. The price fluctuates, so you want to book this beforehand. In Zermatt, our accommodations were $806 per person. It was a group of 6 of us, so that breaks down to $134 per night per person. I would say that's pretty good for Switzerland. So our main thing in Switzerland was going skiing. Lift tickets were about $100 per day. I skied for 2 days, but then I also rented skis. I considered bringing them with, but because we were going to be changing hotels a lot, I physically just could not carry them with me. So it was about $80 each day to rent all the gear that includes.
Yeah, skiing is expensive, man. I mean, first you got to get there, then you got to pay for the lodge access, you got to pay some other fees to actually get out there and ski, then you got to do the rentals. Oh my God. Is it really worth it? I'd rather just sit in the lodge and just hang out in the fire, just watch everybody just come back with like bruises, and just, you know, like they got banged up. I'd rather just sit there and just relax.
Holes. If you're able to bring your boots with you, that's a good way to save a little bit of money if you are still planning to rent. So skiing in total was a $400 activity for the 2 days. And it was super worth it. It was so much fun. Like, this was the reason we were going to the Swiss Alps. After our 6 nights in Zermatt, we took the GLACIER Express train back to Zurich. This is a really cool train. It's very scenic. It's renovated. It's really luxurious, and it's $230 per person for the first class train. I scoped out all the train cars. Honestly, the second class seemed nice also, so I don't think you necessarily need to splurge on the first class. I also did the 3-course meal on the train because I thought I was going to make a video about it. The 3-course meal was $80. It just personally, it wasn't my favorite food. It was good quality.
Yeah, that's the thing. Every time you go into some of these fancy places, and especially this train, which seems like it's much higher class, it's like it's weird. It's like the more money that you spend, the less food you actually get. Like all these rich restaurants, I've been to some where, like, you know, the bill was $230 for the both of us, and like quite literally it was the size of like this mouse. Like that was the steak that they gave you. I'm like, I get it. It's lavish lifestyles, but man, I'd rather just go to the random pub, give me a huge double bacon cheeseburger, and let me pay like $15 for it, and I'll be very happier and more full, for that matter. You know, and sometimes you get those dishes, you know, with a really expensive food, and they don't even put the sauce on the food. They put it on the side for you to dip it. I'm like, you missed $80 and you missed? I mean, come on. I mean, I'm being facetious, but, you know, you get my point.
Zurich, we stayed in kind of like a budget but nice hotel. It was a Citizen M hotel. These are really great hotels if you're traveling solo or you just want something kind of inexpensive. They are very small rooms, but they're stylish, they're nice. It was $96 per person. We just split the hotel room. Food in Switzerland is expensive. I spent on average $87 per day on food. I grocery shopped, so I made my own breakfasts. I just went to the store one day, spent about $40 on groceries, got stuff for breakfast. I got my own champagne, and I also got a couple frozen pizzas. But other than that, we ate out for every meal. On the slopes, the restaurants are expensive, but they are really good quality. We were spending more on our meals. We had 1 night in Zurich, and then we were heading to London the next day. We took the train to the airport, which is a fairly inexpensive way to get there. It's like $5 to $10. We flew Swiss Air from Zurich to London, mainly because it went into the major airport and you could bring Swiss Air. It was $177 for a one-way ticket from Zurich to London.
Oh, so she did. See, very smart. So she flew to Switzerland first and then went over to London. So it was a lot cheaper to actually just do that instead of flying directly into London. The taxes are going to be a lot less. So kudos to Shelby, man. She knows that. She knows what she's doing. She's great.
So got this charcuterie board on the flight. It ended up being $30 US, which is a lot, but it came with a glass of champagne and a little charcuterie board that you could actually keep. I still have it. Once we landed in London, we took the train to our hotel. Our first hotel in London was $613 for 2 nights. So $306 per night. We split it, so $153 $53 per night. The hotel is called Dean Street Townhouse. It was so...
See, people in our community, the credit card community, we like to use all of our points towards the hotels like the Hyatts, the Hiltons, and really very seldom are we actually booking hotels like this that aren't a part of those greater collections, because all we're trying to do is book with points and pretty much live and travel for free completely on points themselves. So yeah, you're gonna get some really unique hotels and whatnot, but it's all gonna be out of pocket. But you'd be surprised, I bet I could find a Hilton or a Hyatt that you can spend maybe only 5,000 to 15,000 points a night to stay there, and it's still like fairly unique. Like, even look at this one that I was looking at recently, in a Hyatt hotel literally overlooking the Coliseum, and it's only like 12,000 points to stay there. That's like super cheap. I mean, 12,000 points to stay at a hotel that overlooks the Coliseum, that's absolutely insane.
It's called SOHO Farmhouse, and it is amazing. Like, add it to your bucket list. This place is insanely beautiful. This was $2,062 total. It was $686 a night, more of a splurge compared to the other hotels, but 100% worth it. Divided by the two of us, we were paying $343 each per night. I was more than willing to pay it because it just is an experience. It's like a wellness retreat. They have this beautiful pool, there's farm animals, there's a cinema, there's restaurants. The whole vibe of it is just immaculate. Like, I loved it. The plan was to take a train most of the way and then a 25-minute taxi. But we got to the train station. It turned out that train was not in service. So we took an Uber, which ended up being $175 total. So we split it. So we paid a little more to get there, but you probably wouldn't have to ordinarily. After our 3 nights there, we went back to London for 2 nights, stayed at Dean Street Townhouse again. This time it was $626 for 2 nights. So that's $313 per night. That breaks down to $156 per person. In my opinion, that's really good, especially for how nice these hotels are. $120 total. It was a 2-hour experience. They have a really gorgeous movie theater there. We went to that and that was free. And then we mostly just went in the pool and had drinks and a lot of food. We probably spent a good amount on cocktails while we were in the pool. I'm gonna be real on that one. That was really fun. I love a pool day, have some cocktails, get a really good dinner. Like, that was a perfect day.
That's true. It's so true. Like, me and my fiance will go out to some of like the nicest places. Like, maybe it's like go to Boston downtown or go to Orlando or I don't know, Nashville, at least domestically, right, in the US. And you know, there's so much to do in nightlife, but a lot of the times we just end up going back to the hotel, get a drink and hang out in the hotel room and grab a pizza or just hang out at the pool. Like, I don't know. To me, I love that. I love just being away. Don't have to think about anything. Maybe we're boring. Who knows?
England, we spent about $75 per day on food. And then back in London, we did see a show. We went to the Book of Mormon. This was $125 per person. But we also did some cheaper activities. We both love renting bikes in cities, especially a city like London. We got a 1-hour pass to Kensington Palace, to Harrods. It's only $6 US. I love doing this. It's so fun in any city that you're able to. It's so cheap and just like a fun kind of active thing to do. And we also took the Uber boat. I saw this on TikTok. You could take a scenic boat and pay like $30, or you can literally get on the Uber boat. I think it's like $5 US. You can get drinks or coffee on board and you get some pretty cool views, and it's a good way to also just get from point A to B. So we did that as well. Totals, let's get into it. The totals I spent on flights was $495. Of course, this is mostly subsidized by me booking it mostly with points. I would recommend, if you're going to Europe, this is the time to book with points. You can usually find a really good points.
I mean, that's quite literally infinite monetization, okay? You booked the trip with all of your points, and all those points you earned were from a previous video that you made on a trip talking about how you spend money on the trip that you book points with, that those points were actually earned through a video prior. It's amazing. So, and all the expenses within the trip are a tax write-off because it was all for this video. So, little tips and tricks, man. That's why you always got to film when you're abroad if you're a YouTuber, I guess. And maybe if some people subscribe to this channel, I mean, we do have a goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers, and if we do by January 1st, I'm going to be staying at the most dangerous hotel in all of America. It's a little bit frightening, but I'll do it for 10,000 subs. So if you guys like this content, make sure to subscribe. And now let's see Shelby's actual total between everything she spent on this trip, because I have a feeling it's really not that bad.
I think this is a good amount to spend on a luxurious trip. Like, I flew for...
Oh man, $4,600 for a 2-week excursion, not even factoring in the points that you spent to actually book that flight. Whoo, man, that's... I mean, look, she's got it like that. Not something I can spend right now, but that $4,600. Man, isn't it crazy how things add up? I mean, she mentioned she was spending like close to $100 on food every single day. So for 2 weeks, that's $1,400, like just right there on food alone. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But if you think about it, if she does make this video, she's probably going to get around 200,000 views. In this niche, she's getting at least probably $10 per 1,000 views. So she's probably earning close to $2,000 from this video alone, which means her net cost for the trip is probably about $2,600. But then she's going to write off most of it. So I wouldn't be surprised if net by the end of the year, this trip really only costs her about $1,500 out of pocket. So, and then not even including all the people that use her referral links for the next trip. But you know, so that's actually not too bad. I'm actually thoroughly impressed, man. I want to get on this level. So honestly, Shelby's amazing. I love the way she does her videos. And please subscribe if you like this kind of content. Did you like my reaction to it? And Shelby, if you're watching, please teach me your ways. I want to do everything you're doing. Airbnb, flights, all that stuff. Please, let's talk. Yeah, right. And I guess just watch this video next so you can see all the different ways that I've been able to accumulate 500,000 American Express points across all 14 of my credit cards to where I can book a trip like this many, many times over just like Shelby did. And I'm sure you're going to get a ton of value from it.